Hi, and welcome to Wrong
Way! Hello!
And today we're gonna present to you this.
KingSong 16X Pro.
Jawohl!
Welcome.
Let me tell you more about it. So today, Taju is joining me on the channel. Ratlus, thanks for being here. And that is because my footsie is still a bit injured, and Taju is the best person actually to shed light on this new 16X model. Why?
Why? Well, I started riding 5 years ago, and that was my first wheel. I bought 16X as my first wheel, and since then I owned, this is my fifth, I think, or sixth.
And just to prove the point here, this is Taju's personal 16X with the nylon of pedals.
They're awesome. I stopped counting kilometers after 35,000, so I have some mileage made on it.
On the 16X. So in this video, I'm going to tell you first what are the specs of the wheel, like what changed and what is, you know, sort of new on this wheel compared to the old 16X.
And I will tell you how it rides, what's different compared to the old model, and is it worth your money?
Yeah, let's do it. And if you want to get a wheel like this or any other wheel, feel free to check out myewheel.com and use my coupon code WRONGWAY to get a 5% discount. They are the sponsor of this channel. However, everything that I say in this video will be, well, my honest opinion about this wheel. Probably you've seen how honest I can be with the F18 review.
Before we begin, one thing. This rod is dirty. I mean, this wheel is very, very dirty. And this is actually the major problem with 16X. The plastic that it's made of is really, really electrostatic, if that's the correct word. So basically it catches dirt like crazy. We tried to tidy up the wheel before we started filming. This is after like literally 2 minutes of ride. Yeah.
So first up, what are the things that did not change about the KingSong 16X? Well, it's still a very good beginner-friendly wheel, and at the same time, it's also good for riders that have been already riding for a long time. It has a great package and a great weight to performance ratio, being just 24 kilograms. At the same time, it can now go 60 kilometers an hour. And yeah, it's just a very, very useful thing to do all kinds of commuting and all kinds of errands in the city. There's very few wheels, or probably Taji will tell you there is no other wheel.
There is no other wheel like 16X.
that can do the same amount of things as this one. A quick spec rundown. We have a small bump in performance, but actually the nominal power of the motor did not change. It's 2,200 watts. Maybe the peak power is higher at 4,800 watts, but the result is that it can still climb up to 40-degree inclines. Sadly, with this particular one, I couldn't test it, but with the prior one, I didn't have like major issues climbing 40-degree inclines, at least like shorter ones. So this should be still fine. And we have a max speed now of 60 kilometers an hour, which is quite a bit more than the original 50 kilometers an hour. 24 kilograms. We have a quicker charging available on this wheel, but they still ship it with this puny 1.5 amp charger, which is, I mean, just disappointing. 14 hours for a full charge. Yeah, you gotta have 2 chargers if you actually want to get around the city, like more than 1 charge a day, I would say. With that said, you can now quick charge it up to 10 amps, which is a noticeable bump from I believe the 5 amps or like 3 amps that you could do before with the original one. You can go 80 kilometers up to like 90 kilometers. I could do with the original one, so plenty of range for getting around the city. 16-inch tire on a 12-inch rim, street tire, pretty low pedals, nice center of mass, and yeah, just an overall nice package. Maybe they could add a kickstand to it, right? That's something I didn't think about.
Yeah, they did. They should. Definitely.
They should add a kickstand to it. So when it comes to the main features of the wheel, we now get a screen on top, which is here. You can see it very well in the night. But for me, I'll be nitpicking here. When the lights are off, it's actually for me just too bright. It just blinds me a little from the bottom, but this is this kind of nitpicking, this kind of like annoyance. It's awesome to have the screen now, and when you're riding, you can see the speed. When you're stationary, you can tell about the battery percentage, and you can also tell about the battery percentage on the LEDs here, which when stationary, just show you the amount of battery that you have left. The screen is like just a bit plasticky on the top here. Overall, the placement is okay. It's a bit, you know, of an afterthought, obviously. I guess they just cut holes into their shells. Nonetheless, it's here and it's nice. The front light is, I believe, the same, and we still have a light sensor, come on, which turns on when it's dark. Boom. But now we have, I believe, a smaller mudguard here on the bottom, which also makes sure that, well, I hope that no dust will get into the light here. This was an issue on the prior 16X models.
Oh, I can tell you that after 2,000 kilometers, the light stopped working.
Exactly.
You couldn't see anything.
And here you have additional 2 USB-A ports, because KingSong is just the king of features you won't use.
Actually, I did charge my phone once during last 6 years, 5 years.
But you didn't charge 2 phones at once.
No.
I guess the tire change is still a very cumbersome process, because you essentially need to open up the shell from the side. So still a bit of work to change the tire, but nonetheless, luckily not the heaviest wheel to just do that in your spare time. It will be quite a bit of work though.
And watch out, because the shell is actually really, really sharp, and it can cut your hands.
See, that's why you're here. Like, I appreciate the comments from the...
I did cut my hands on that shell.
Sorry to hear. On the back we have the charge ports, Lenovo ports. We don't see them at all. I think they should honestly have upgraded them to GX16-4, which is like almost the standard for wheels that are 84 volt. We have a speaker hole here, and there's actually an update. I read about it. It is now Bluetooth 5.2 or 3. For media transmission. I didn't hear much of a difference with the speaker. It's still a subwoofer. It's still a bunch of speakers inside. And honestly, when I was riding behind Taju, it's the best, because then I hear the music coming from here, actually, from the hole. Speaker demonstration. Pretty loud too. Maybe it's this better than the old one. I can't really tell much.
Also, you might have noticed that there is actually a graphical equalizer on the wheel, so the lights actually sync with the music. You can turn it off.
You know what? Maybe you shouldn't sit next to me.
Maybe I should.
I did it wrong.
Hi!
Wrong way.
And welcome to
Taju.
Taju. Yeah, so we were talking about the equalizer lights. I actually turned them off. You have a complete control over the lights via the app. It's really a very decent app, I must say. It has all the functionalities. It's well designed, and you can also change the color of the lights. In my own wheel, they're green when it's stationary, or red when it's moving.
So if you don't like the light show, you can actually just turn it off, because there's definitely people that don't like that. So mudguard didn't change. Will it fall off? That's the question.
Yes, it will. This one didn't yet, but I think it's just a question of time.
Yeah.
They didn't change the mudguard at all. It's fortunately
like
very easy to swap, and it's not that expensive, so you can buy it.
The side panels did not change, and just the pads changed. I will not remove them, don't worry. But here usually like a small nubbin sticks off. You just cut it.
Yeah.
KingSong has an amazing ability to just make terrible pad decisions. Like, I think the only wheel where I was mildly satisfied with how like the side of a shell was like designed for pads was like the S22 and S16.
If I may add a thing, you already said that it's pretty difficult with when you want to change the tire. It's also difficult because of the paddings on the side. The paddings are glued to the side.
Yeah.
There are two kinds of paddings.
So this is a softer part, and this is the less soft part.
The problem is if you want to change the tire, because you have to rip the paddings off.
Yeah.
The screws are under the paddings.
And the pads like never go out like smoothly. Like they
Yeah.
always leave like residue, and then you clean it off, and then you need to re-glue them with something else.
With a lot of glue.
So actually you need to take this whole thing off and with the glue to access the screws, which makes it look nice because you can't see screws, but you're screwed because you need to take it off.
It sucks.
We have new pedals. I think they're a bit wider. I think it is an improvement in general.
No, come on. Compared to the originals?
Yeah, because we have like milled-in studs now, but I would prefer just MTB studs. But that is an improvement. If you want to have even better grip, just buy nylon off. You can use my coupon code for that. But if you don't want to spend like €200 on pedals, then you can just add like grip tape basically to that, just like small pieces of it. It would be a little bit of annoying work, but you can do it. Okay,
so since we are talking about the pedals, I actually wanted to add one thing about nylonowe pedals. So 16X has a tendency to dip into the front when you're riding it, especially when you are carving a lot. I love to carve, so my wheel tends to dip all the time. So first off, you will have to use the application to tilt it backwards. And second thing is that nylonowe actually sells pedals with special
add-ons.
I don't know how to call it. Yeah, like little platforms on the front that raises the front of the pedal. So it's a very good counter for the dipping of the wheel itself.
The trolley handle didn't change. It's still like one of the tallest one on the market, which is amazing. It's still a little bit wobbly, but it does the job perfectly. It's so huge, it's ergonomic, but it's actually the best for like right-handed operation. So if you're left-handed, it's kind of less comfy because it's like tilted to the side, but it'll do. I usually just hold it like from the back, honestly.
Come on, it's really good on the left side as
is
well.
It?
Yeah,
you
of
like
course.
it?
Like,
but it's exactly the other.
It's even better.
So the thing is, like, the left-handed operation is better than right-handed? Okay, so I figured it out. So this way, it's perfect for right-handed use, but if you want to go this way, it's best for left-handed use.
No, this is the right-handed use.
Is it?
Yeah, and the other one is the left-handed.
No.
This is the front.
Wait.
Yeah, this is the front.
This is ergonomically good.
Yes.
I like this.
And this is forward.
Wait,
for the right.
And this way? It's also ergonomically good.
Yeah, but this is.
But when I take the left hand,
because it changes nothing. There you go.
Wait, it does change. No, look, this is not
now
nice.
Left
hand is not nice.
Okay, agree.
Left hand is not
it's
nice.
Not left. You can't really use it with the left hand.
So what's right? It's left-handed use, not right.
You can't use it with the left hand. That's what she said.
So both ways right-handed use. Yeah, because this would be comfortable, but then you go like this. Anyway, the trolley handle is also locking on the top. Many people forget about that when designing EUCs. NOSFET.
Anyway,
the more you know.
The trolley handle is really good, but also it has some problems with it.
The lift switch.
The lift switch. So basically, if you pull on the handle, you can hear a little beep. The lift switch basically kills the wheel. You can transport it safely.
Very functional.
It's very functional. It works. Unfortunately, after 2 years, I think, in my private wheel, the lift switch basically, burned off.
It just breaks, I think, mechanically. You also need to like fasten it with screws. And it can get loose over time.
So this is one of the problems with the trolley handle. The other one is it becomes wobbly after some time because of the fact that it's made of so many segments.
The problem you have is also that the lift switch keeps getting engaged when it shouldn't be. So sometimes you can't ride a wheel because it thinks you want to lift it up.
Yeah, basically it debalances all the time. You can balance it, but it happened only on one of my wheels and only once. So I can't say that this is like a.
And you crashed them a fair bit too.
No, not even that. No, I was just pulling it. It came from pulling it and just carrying it up the stairs. I have a little staircase in front of my house, so I have to carry it each time when I'm coming back home. But yeah, that was the only technical issue that I ever had with this wheel. Like honestly, this is the thing that amazes me about 16X. Besides being a very good beginner wheel, it's also a very good intermediate and even advanced wheel.
Absolutely. Great for tricks.
But it's also so robust. It's so
well I have to comment on that because maybe you didn't have any issues with yours, but some riders
That's true.
are reporting that the shell crumbles from the inside, especially along the L hangers, which are basically this metal piece that connects to the pedals. So from the inside, the shell didn't change, so we don't have any more rigidity from that side. And the other thing is it has a motor with an axle, and usually this axle, like until this point, it was a cast iron axle, and I've heard that nothing changed in that regard. And in some use cases, especially if you ride over 20, 30,000 kilometers, then you might get a bent axle or even a broken axle. And usually it's not a super common issue, but just something to let you know. You also had a couple wheels, they started getting rattly.
I had one problem with it, with all the wheels, except for this one. When you are riding at one foot, the shell tends to scratch bend a little because it's made of a plastic. It touches on the wheel and you can hear like little sound. Yeah. But it's not a big issue. Truth is, I'm pretty light as a rider. I only weigh around 75 kilos, so yeah, the heavier riders might have problem with it.
And you might have an issue where the motherboard screws might get a little loose, and that might also cause some vibrations.
Yeah.
And you just need to tighten those, and you're good to go.
But this is
annoying though, because you also need to take off the pads then. Well, it's also not a suspension wheel, so probably it's more prone to getting loose over time.
Speaking of, this is the only issue. It's an issue and a non-issue in the same moment, because from one side, it's way less comfortable than suspension wheels. On the other hand, it feels like a skateboard. It has this nice tactile feel to it that you feel super connected to the wheel. You can feel every bump, every movement of it. It gives you a certain connection that I don't feel when I'm riding suspension wheels.
Yeah. And you had a couple of those. So you had a Pattern.
Yeah, I had a Pattern. I rode your Aero, so
yeah, the Aero.
Actually, Aero is the only wheel that kind of stole my heart compared to 16X.
It's hard to steal a Taju's heart when it comes to wheels. I show you wheels all the time.
That's the thing. Like, I'm friends with Adam for years now, and I have this unique opportunity to test out all possible wheels that are basically produced in the world. Since the very beginning, I have never found a wheel which would feel better for me personally than 16X. There is something with this wheel that just stole my heart. And since we are talking about Pro version, let's talk what's different in reality, like what feels different from the original. As we already said, there is not really much that changed in the 16X Pro version. In reality, when you look at it, it's just, there is a sticker on the side, there is like some orange elements on the handle, and the pedals are different. If you look at it, it's pretty much the same wheel. It does feel different when you start to ride it, because as Adam said, there is this difference in power. It's not even the engine, because the engine is still 2200 watts, but it feels a little stronger. Trust me, after all those kilometers that I made on it, I tried to push the limits. I did push the limits of 16X as much as I could, and it never was a leanable wheel. You could never lean on 16X. It has a very good acceleration, but if you push it just a little too much, it starts to dip, to beep. On Pole Mokotowskie here, I accelerated too much and it cut off, but fortunately it caught up.
So it didn't cut out, it just dipped very hard. And then you caught it.
Yeah, it's really safe, so it will start to beep before it tilts back, and you have a margin to react. That being said, on this one, you can actually accelerate without, well, not leaning, but without this fear in back of your head that it will start to dip or beep. It feels stronger. I never topped the max speed. It's 60 kilometers now. I never topped it because I don't feel that this wheel is actually made for that. It's too small. The fact that it doesn't have suspension is also an issue when you want to ride fast, because every bump can mean a crash. And it's really easy to crash on an unsuspensioned wheel when you hit a little bump. That being said, acceleration is better than it used to be. The max velocity is better than it used to be. It just feels like, like a more complete package than it used to.
All right, so let's also conclude this wheel a little bit. And this is something I will try to do in the best case possible, even though that I wasn't really able to ride this wheel pretty much at all.
You hate 16Xs. This is the thing. Like one thing I have to.
I don't hate them. I just never. No, I never fell in love with them. I always was the 18XL guy. I was always the 18XL guy. And 14D. I like the Roomba shaped KingSongs the most.
Yeah, this is the thing that I never understood why Adam doesn't like 16X.
It's thinner.
Never rides it.
It's thinner.
It's chunky.
I prefer when it's thinner.
I like when I feel something between my legs that's chunky.
So well. Anyway, 1,750 euro, so quite a bit for a wheel, but if you look at the Aero, if you look at other wheels with suspension, this is still a very good price, and at the same time has a lot more range than those wheels. So 80-90 kilometers is a surefire way you can get around the city, and with the new possibility to quick charge, you can use a pit zoom charger or anything else, then you can also get further. What I would actually want KingSong to do in a future 16X, because this is a cosmetic upgrade, is to have a magnesium shell to be a bit more durable for all around. The taillights, even though you still have the LEDs that are visible in the night, it would be nice to just have something that is not so low to the ground, and a bit more, I don't know, a bit more of a newer design too, because maybe you love it, probably still.
It's not the best design ever, like, let's be honest. It's super functional.
Yeah.
It's also
but the batteries are like cramped all around.
6 years old or 7 years old, I can't remember when they
it's very recognizable.
It is.
Yeah. Looking at the other wheels that KingSong makes nowadays, like the S16 or S19, this does look like the product has already aged a bit. Like even the old ports and the slow charging out of the box. But at the same time, it's still an amazing package if you want to start out riding. Even for an absolute beginner, this wheel is totally doable. It's still pretty light, has amazing performance. And finally, we also have a smart BMS. I mean, we didn't talk about that. Smart BMS is inside, and also Apple Find My. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. If you are just wanting to get around the city, you want best bang for the buck, then this is still a great wheel to get, in my opinion.
And it will work for you, and it will serve you for years and years. Like, honestly.
So why did you have just 5 instead of 1?
Because I always wanted a new one after, like, I made that 5,000 kilometers on one, so I just wanted a new one, which is like less used, basically. That was the only reason.
Okay.
It never broke on me. Like, honestly, I never even had a flat tire on it.
That's sick.
Never. For last 5 years, I have never changed a tire, except for the fact that since I carve a lot, I tend to flat the tires, not flat the tires.
Use up the tire.
Use up the tires, yeah, and they become slick. So
yeah,
that was the only reason why I had to change the tire.
So yeah, 16X, I guess that's the TLDR. If you're still here, leave a like on the video, subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. See you soon.